So once we have this data, we need to analyze it. So that's where something such as data analytics comes into play. And sometimes you hear about data scientists, data analysts. Those are people that have to analyze this data that's been generated. And what they're doing is data analytics. So they're analyzing the data that's been generated to draw insight from that data. Okay, so they're taking raw data or raw information, raw data, and they're transforming it to insights. Okay, and they have to use different tools, different technologies, and different processes to analyze this data. So that's where you hear tools such as Tableau, Spark, Python, that are being used to analyze this data. Okay, and with this data, once they've analyzed it, businesses can use it to make decisions. Businesses can use them to make decisions, and in many other aspects, they're employing data analytics, such as sports. These days, they use data analytics in sports to help teams improve, to help businesses make better decisions and all of that, and to help businesses target their customers as well. So big data now is simply being able to analyze this data that we have in these non-traditional storage systems to draw insight from that raw data. So we're analyzing the data in this massive databases to draw insights and make better decisions. Okay, and that's where you hear computational power, because you need higher computational power to analyze this data. And that's where you start hearing terms such as computing and all of that. Those are high-speed computational computers or high-performing computers. So with data analytics, the thing is, how does it work? How does big data work? So what this involves is collecting this raw data, analyzing it, storing this data, and using this analyzed data now to draw valuable insights from this data. And in most cases, it goes from the steps of collection of the raw data, processing or analyzing, storing. So you collect the raw data, you process, you analyze it, you store it. And sometimes once they've stored the data, they can still go through multiple steps of analysis to use them for multiple different purposes. The steps we said, collecting, that's the first step. You have your phone, you download an app, for example, they tell you the contracts you have. There's sections where these apps tell you what they would do or what information they're collecting, what they would do, what they would not do with that information. What they're doing at that point is just collecting data from you. So sometimes they'll tell you, they'll collect your location, they'll collect maybe some of your private information. Some of them might even collect your phone numbers. All of that is data collection. So they'll collect that from your mobile devices, from your browsers, all of that. That's data collection. That's the first step they'll do. Once they collect that data, they have to store it somewhere. And given how fast they're collecting the data, they need a scalable storage facility or a storage type to store this data. So the second step would be storage. They collect the data from you, they store it. The third stage now will be the analysis or the process and they analyze this data for whatever they want to do. So they're transforming the raw data they've gotten from you to something they can consume. On the other hand, it could be something you, the customer, will consume once they've processed it. So they process it, they analyze it, or they analyze it and process it. And then they could send that out for consumption. And it could be either they could be sorting the data, they could be aggregating the data, so that's putting the data together, putting different aspects together to draw a particular insight. But sometimes they might actually have to separate aspects of the data as well to get more insights on certain aspects. So that will be the third step. And once they've done this, the resulting data is used or is stored for further processing. So sometimes this third stage, some of the data, they might gain some insight from this processed data. But if they want more insights or if they want to use it for other aspects, they might have to do an extra step or a different type of processing. So this third step could involve a single step processing or multiple steps where they do different analysis based off what their outcome or their intended outcome is or what they want. So this third step could be in multiple layers. Once they've processed and analyzed the data, the last step now is consumption and visualization. So that's where they'll employ tools like Tableau. You hear people talking of this data is cyclical. So that's a pattern already that they've drawn from a particular data set. So you hear people say the data is cyclical, the data is downtrending. So those are just some examples of insights they're drawing from the data set. So they're visualizing it from there. Some of the data that they've analyzed already is ready or good for consumption. Fourth step is consumption and visualization. It could be consumption for the customer, it could be consumption for the organization or the business. So those are the four major steps involving big data.